incorporated using the iPads into the classroom this year was to create a template on Book Creator where the children didn't have to use paper and pencil while they were doing their research. They were able to have this template that they could go into and look at the different aspects of what they were looking for in their Native American research. They were looking for clothing and food and homes and villages, and they were able to not only take notes, they were also able to take pictures so that when it came time to putting together their Native American replicas, they had all of that at their fingertips, looking back and forth between their notes and their pictures so that they could create their replicas.
I like iPads because I like making books more in Book Creator than on paper, and you can take pictures and then put them in the book. You can put your voice into there and you can draw on it. I've made a book about Emily and Alice being superheroes.
You can record yourself, you can draw pictures.
It's helped us learn about other cultures and landmarks and stuff like that, and other different foods.
The new thing that we're going to do today that I know you're excited about is that when you have all your typing done, you're going to be adding your voice.
Some parents think that they're games you do all day, but they're not actually true. There's Book Creator, and we get to write our own books, and our teacher gets to see them, and we get to publish them. And it's really cool because we can write whatever we want on it. I'm writing about the Creative Club book series.
And something that we've seen as a huge benefit is problem solving and communication. That the kids tend to come together more and work together more just naturally because they're excited to share the things that they've been doing, or they go to each other because they know that the friends around them have ways to problem solve or whatever it is that they need. So that's been really exciting to see.
I get to publish it and people get to look at my writing and my recording. And then with Mr. Shores I get to put pictures on it. It's really fun. It's not hard to publish books because you just keep writing books and then you get to publish it, and then a lot of people look at your books. And without iPads, no one would see our real writing and who you actually are.
It helps us learn and share information and show what we've learned in school so far.
My first graders have been very busy using their iPads in engaging and meaningful ways. We have also been communicating with a class in Texas through the use of Padlets. We have been reading the same books as the other class, and then they type their thoughts and post them for each other. Another project the students have been working on is writing reviews during Writers' Workshop. First, they brought their iPads to different places and took pictures. Then they used their pictures as inspiration to write their reviews. Finally, they have been typing them up and we have been publishing them on our Student Reviews website. But one of the best parts about students having their own iPads is that they can create digital portfolios. As they are working throughout the year, they can record evidence of their learning. The students having their own iPads has already proven to be an important part of their learning, and I can't wait to see what we can do as the year goes on.
So something that we've been doing in the classroom since having access to one-to-one devices is we've been able to flip some lessons. And what that basically means is the teachers get to do some of the legwork beforehand of recording a lesson at all the different levels so we can easily differentiate, and then students can watch those videos at their own pace, going back, rewinding, watching it again, and all the kids in the classroom can be working at their own level, at their own speed at the same time, while we can pull small groups to work on, for example, guided reading. And now being in the third year of one-to-one, the next kind of step that I've taken it to is having the kids flip some lessons. And so at the beginning of the week, for example, they'll watch their spelling lesson, we're checking in, seeing how it's progressing. And then during centers, the kids actually make their own flipped videos. So they're sitting down and they're introducing the concepts and walking through the spelling sorts and explaining what the patterns are. And it's really been amazing.
Hello my friends, this is Owen and we're going to be doing SL, BL, and PL blends. SL for slide, BL for block, and PL for plus.
The increase in academic vocabulary, because when you really understand something, you're able to teach about it. So hearing the kids say, you know, welcome to my spelling sort for the week. I'm going to teach you about digraphs. Digraphs are when two letters come together to make a completely different sound. So it's really been amazing to see when the kids are taking that information and they're able to even express it in their own words and lead someone else through what they've been learning.
Like in haiku learning, they have a spelling video, and they show you how to do the sorts. And then if you keep practicing them, then you can be really good at them. Instead of really having to have the teacher explain it now we can just go on our iPad and we'll see the spelling sort.
Another piece that we really try to work on is that metacognition, that self-assessment. So can kids tell you where they're at? Do they realize what they need to work on? Do they realize where their strengths are? Because it helps you be a better learner. So one of the activities that we do during center time is Rate Your Fluency, where the kids will practice, they'll pick a passage, something that they're interested in reading, they'll set some goals for their reading aloud, so they might be working on phrasing, which is where you stop at punctuation appropriately, they might work on expression, the sound of their voice when they're reading, and then they'll record themselves a couple times, they'll practice, they'll listen in, and they pick future goals for themselves based on that recording. So if I was listening to my reading and I thought I could work more on expression the next time, I'd mark that down and keep working on that as a goal. They also take these passages that they've recorded and they pick what they figure is the best one for that day, and they add that to their portfolio. And what's exciting about that is we're able to see how they grow over time. So it's not just how are you doing today, but you know, how are you growing? Are you continuing to progress? What were you working on before? What can you be working on now? So it really helps them self-assess and think of things in the long term. Something that I think a lot of the teachers have been really excited about is, you know, as a teacher, you always wish you could clone yourself, and I'm sure as a parent too. With a lot of the web-based programs that we use, we basically can clone ourselves because we can be sitting at the guided reading table working with a group, while also out of the corner of our eye, I can see, for example, today's Meet.com, where I've put out a comprehension question and I'm looking for kids to write a reader's response, and I can see what they're doing, I can see what they're writing, I can type them feedback. So I'm sitting at the table while they're at their center and they're like, wait, but she's over there with them. Wait, but she's also working with us. So it's really been kind of a magical thing because it's almost like there's multiples of me. So I can, you know, be working with everybody really at the same time.
In Spanish class, we have approximately 25 minutes to use the iPads and produce work more efficiently for the students. And through the apps we've been using, students can take pictures and put them into one app, specifically Pic Collage in this instance, and then they were able to take their Pic Collage they created and put it into another app, which is Puppet EDU, and the students then could annotate what they were learning in the classroom and have a final production and apply it into Book Creator.
Me siento
enojada. Or do you think you can do better?
Siento feliz.
You want to try one more time?
You know, the iPad has proven to be such an enabler in my classroom. One, it allows for great differentiation for students, both in terms of instruction and assessment. For instruction, we all know that there are different kinds of learners. Some are verbal learners, so hearing things read to them and then being able to repeat it by playing it again at home allows those verbal learners to really solidify that kind of learning. For visual learners to be able to see it in the form of a video or to take photos themselves of what they've learned, again, really makes that learning very authentic and real for them. On the assessment side, students also need different ways to show what they've learned. So some, again, are very verbal, and so for them to be able to record their learning, to share with other students, to share with me as a teacher, and in fact to go back and remind themselves of how much they've learned is really powerful. Others may make a video or may take a picture or do the drawing themselves. So having a tool that allows students to show what they know and to learn in so many different ways has really been powerful. In our classroom, we've been studying very hands-on the growth of bean plants. The students created a science notebook where they made a prediction as to what would happen with the beans before we planted them, and then periodically, about once or twice a week, they'll record their observations as scientists of what's happened to that bean plant. They take a photo, they record their own observations, and go back and see how that compares with their prediction. That's science at its best for students who are 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, how tall it was.
It's 96. It's up to the 96.
I'm going to record my prediction. A prediction is like what's going to happen next.
I think this plant will go up to the ceiling, and then we will have to move this plant outside.
And you can use the camera to take pictures?
Yeah. You can't do that with paper.
So I went outside and then I took pictures of all the parts of plants, and for the roots, Mrs. Friedley had some weeds that Mr. Shores pulled out, so I took a picture of it. And then after I was done taking all the pictures, I added some words to it, and I labeled the parts of the plant.
Could this be done without an iPad? Well, not in my experience. So we're really grateful to have this tool in our classroom.